What's going on, diamonds and gents? This is Miss Trade That Jim, and you are listening and watching Jim Spot TV. Let's get on into this 100 Black Pastor Coalition that was supposed to meet with Donald Trump. Well, did meet with Donald Trump on today. So many different people have spoke out against it and things like that. Wanted to know what would happen behind closed doors with them sitting down and talking with Donald Trump. Thus far, Roland Martin is the only one that has been able to really get what has happened in the room. And if you go check out my Facebook page, you can kind of see the dialogue that he had with a Reverend Pearson from Richmond Christian Center. I just want to say I commend Roland Martin because he not only brought up policy and brought up what the issue should have been discussed in that meeting. Instead of, it was just love. We spoke of love and how we can just increase wealth with ourselves and teach ourselves. But instead of asking, why is it that they can't, a black-owned business owner can't get a loan to raise capital to start their business? Or let's talk about how they can't even put up homes because they can't even get loans to acquire land. That's how you raise capital. They didn't speak of education and why the really education is going into the private sector when it comes to charter schools. Didn't talk about none of these issues. Didn't talk about criminal justice system and how this cover up is even going on with Laquan McDonald and others. Let's talk about Sandra Bland as well. They're saying it was a suicide, but we all know that if another woman ends up in the same system getting suicide a few months later, it can't really be suicide. So let's talk about what is it that you would do for us as president, as a community. And what I like is he exposed that they didn't talk about the issues, policies. They didn't talk about any matter of government in that meeting. I feel like what was the point of the whole meeting? The meeting was to witchcraft them fools, to bamboozle them fools, to keep putting wool and all them sheets and all you call it over their eyes, smoke and mirrors, smoke screens over their eyes, so that they can keep putting it over the congregation of the people eyes. But I'm wanting here to tell you I love Jesus and my eyes are open. And my eyes are open to the fact that you didn't discuss nothing but how much he was going to grease your palms if he won. Let's just talk about it. Because when he met with those white evangelicals and pastors, you better know they talked about policy with him. They talked about the issues he stood on, what principles he stood on, what was he going to do for the community as for the Anglo-Saxon European white community. You better know those pastors looked out for their people. This is what the problem is. We need to get better when it comes to the church and what we put in our pulpits. If it's a requirement that they get doctoral degrees, masters and bachelor's degrees, so be it. They need to have some type of knowing or something about what they're advising us on. I don't want to hear you tell me about prosperity if you ain't never had a job or a business to create that wealth. And all you did was get your wealth from the people, from poor folk in the church. And it's time out for the foolishness. And I'm with Roland Martin. Give me something of sustenance that you guys talked about in that meeting, then maybe I will follow you. But as of now, I will not be following your leadership or anything it is you got to say, sir or ma'am, until you stand with the right. And the right is finding out what is it that he's really about. He shows you what he's really about on Twitter. He shows what you're really about on media. When he didn't get some man get his butt dang near wiped across the floor because he screamed out Black Lives Matter, and then back up the people that whooped his butt by saying he should have got his butt kicked because he screamed out Black Lives Matter. Then he goes on there and says, oh yeah, let's not just talk about that. Let's talk about the fact blacks is lazy and they only good for sex and theft. That's nothing but saying they're only good for being slaves. That's all they good for, slaves. And we gonna keep them that way, because that's what we have become, slaves to a certain system and mentality, because we're allowing people to make us slaves. Wake up and pay attention, people. This ain't nothing but some rhetoric, some flim flam, and some bull garbage that we certainly do not have to put up with. This is capitalism at its best, and if y'all don't open y'all eyes and see, you still will be a slave to this system. This been Miss Trey at Jim, giving you this 100 Black Pastor Coalition update. Go to my Facebook page, like it, and share the videos that I shared on there, opening our eyes to what really went on in this meeting. All right, you guys.